Hi everyone and welcome to Belly Strong. Today we're going to be talking about back pain and lifting techniques and how to lift your newborn safely to avoid back pain. Now after delivery, your core and pelvic floor are still going to be quite weak and less able to deal with load. So when you are picking up a newborn on a weak core and pelvic floor, you're more likely to develop back pain if you're not lifting safely. So we're going to go through some safe lifting techniques today. If you are experiencing any back pain, see our video on a few back releases to help relieve some of your symptoms, and check out our core workouts for postpartum recovery. So when you're picking up and putting down your newborn, what you want to avoid is bending over from the hips. You want to bend the knees so you're using the legs to take up the weight. So if I put her down, I will face wherever I'm putting her, the pram or the bassinet, and bend my knees and put her down. And it's the same thing with picking up. We don't want to pick her up at an angle or rotating, especially if you're sitting in the bed and rotating and saying picking your baby up from the bassinet. That's a lot of load on the low back. So you always want to face the item that you're picking the baby up from. So nice bent knees, back relatively straight. We don't want to hunch. And we lift and up, and there we go. Now, if you have a newborn, you're bound to be rocking them a lot, whether they're in your arms or in a baby carrier. And a position that you really want to avoid with your baby is this. So we can often hinge back into those hips because it's just easier to rock or carry your baby that way. But that again puts a lot of load on the lower back. So what you want to do is stand up nice and tall, bring your hips a little bit back, your weight forward, and rock in this position. It can be a little bit cumbersome, especially if you're rocking babies for a long time. So what I like to do, it looks a little bit weird, but imagine you're a video game character. You've got a wide base of support, bent knees, and rocking like this. Just simply bending your knees is going to take the load off of the lower back and is better than rocking on straight legs and a hinged back. So give that a try. Often we carry babies on one hip, and it's easy to just kind of hinge into one side as we're carrying them, but again, not a great load, especially for long periods of time on the back or pelvis. So for this, try to be as straight as you can. You can have a little bit of a hinge or a dip to one side, but if you do have a dip, at least alternate sides. So switch, so you're not always loading one side more than the other. And our last tip to avoid back pain is for feeding. So when you're feeding your little one, whether breast or bottle, you don't want to be hunched over. And she doesn't like this position. So when you are feeding, try to make sure that you're at least leaning back on something. If you have a nursing cushion, use that. Lean back into a couch or a chair so you're supported rather than sitting down with your baby in front of you and hunching over them. That once again is a lot of load on the lower back and something that we want to avoid. So that is it for our lifting tips for your newborn. Check out some of our other videos on the channel and postpartum workouts if you're looking for something to help you recover after delivery. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. We'll see you soon again on Belly Strong.